Hello, Coach Holmes here, and today we're going to be talking about circumference of a circle and the arc length. Now, we already talked about arc length as far as the arc measurements, but this time we'll actually find the length of a particular part of a circle. Now, first off, we got to understand what circumference is. Circumference is the distance around the circle. Okay? So basically, if I had this circle right here, if I start at this point and I find out the length all the way around till I get back to the point I'm originally at, that's the circumference. It's basically kind of like perimeter. Okay? It's basically a perimeter of a circle. That's kind of how you have to think about it. Now, there's two different ways to find circumference. One is by using a radius, which we've seen it before by saying 2 pi r, where r is the radius. Another example is using diameter. So it would be d times pi, which d is simply diameter. Now, just to let y'all know, remember, pi is a number that is 3.14, continuing on. There's more digits involved with pi, but if we're just going to stick with a particular set of numbers, or typically how we commonly use the number pi, it's typically going to be 3.14. Okay? That's normally how we actually write the number pi now, 3.14. Now, to continue on, let's find the circumference of a circle with the radius of 9. So, for example, we'll do circumference, which is 2 pi r, because we have the radius. We have the radius of the circle. So remember, we can do 2 times 3.14 times 9. Now, you can also do pi, which in your calculator, it'll be like that little rooftop button, the button with the little roof, second rooftop, and that gives you pi. But we can just stick with 3.14. So if I just calculate that, 2 times 3.14 times 9, that gives me 56.52. And that will give me my circumference. Next, we want to find the circumference with the diameter of 5. Again, we can do it as diameter times pi, which the diameter is 5, pi is 3.14. So if I multiply those out, I get 15.7. All right? And that would give me my circumference. All right? Now, that gives me my circumference with the diameter. Now, we're getting to the meat of the lesson. Now we're getting to the main point of this lesson, which is the arc length. This is something new, okay? Arc length is a portion of the circumference of the circle. Okay? It's just that portion of it. Okay? Now, what I mean by that, so imagine if I have a certain angle and I want to find the portion in blue. That's my arc length. That's my arc length. I want to find the portion in blue, which I got to know a couple of things. S, that's going to be the arc length. Okay. 2 pi r, which we know that to be the circumference Okay, so 2 pi r is our circumference. We gotta know n, the degree, or at least the angle of the degree. So for example, if this is about 35, we will put 35 here. Whatever the degree of that angle. And then 360, because that's the whole degree of a circle. The whole angle of a circle is 360, and we only need 35 degrees of it. Now as far as working it out, the hard part is being able to set it up. The easy part is what we call cross multiply. So, for example, I have a radius of 8, so that means that's 2 times 3.14 times 8. All that under S, because we don't know what S is. We don't know what that arc length is. But we know the degree is 60 over 360. So then I just gotta cross multiply. Which, let me multiply this out real quick. I'll do that first. $50.24. Just like that. So then I just gotta cross multiply. So that's gonna give me 3014.4 equal 36S. Which, remember, 360 times S, I'm multiplying, so I gotta divide. So the arc length is gonna give me 8.37. Not repeating. That's going to give me my arc length. Okay, so the length from A to B is 8.37. Okay, that's my arc length. Now, so if I look at this right here, again, same idea. I want to find the arc length of CD. I know my radius is 12. I'm looking at 40 degrees over 360. So again, I just cross multiply, which again, first I want to multiply this out. $75.36 equals 40 over 36. Cross multiply. 360S equals 240 times 75.36. Now this happens to be a coincidence, okay? This happens to be a coincidence that it's the same number, right? So I divide it by 360. And like I said, it's a coincidence that it's the same answer as well, okay? Now, okay? Just happens to be a coincidence that it works out the same way with the same numbers. Because any other time, it will be completely different numbers. Now, what I want to be able to do is recognize that the S is the arc length. I got to find the circumference of it, and that's going to be equal to the degree over 360. If I'm able to set that up accordingly like that, then I should be able to find the arc length. Okay? So just be aware that half the battle of this is being able to set this up accordingly. Thank you and have a good day.